So the masculine and the feminine, well, you're told that those are socially constructed, meaning that they're not naturally born and universal characteristics. So cultures or civilizations or social arrangements reinforce certain types of behavior, labeling them as masculine and feminine. So, say for example, in some cultures, they encourage men to serve women, like open the door for them, pull the chair, and carry the bags, and all of that. But in the same social circles, very often they have the other arrangements which will assume that men are better decision makers, men are better financial managers, and by making those assumptions, although they seem to be serving and protecting women, they're actually depriving women of their autonomy and many of their own legal rights. So there is different constructions of what we call ideal masculinity and ideal femininity. So I just give you an example. Not long ago, the ideal masculinity would be maybe the warrior, the person who is muscular, agile, function very well in the battlefield, or a good hunter, right? Those are masculine skills that are valued. In contemporary society, then I would say more emphasis or value is placed on being financially successful, climbing up the corporate or the bureaucratic ladder and holding a lot of power. So those are valued masculine characteristics, and it changes across social situation and it changes over time. And then the interesting thing is we also have a feminist perspective, but some of that very often easily slides into wanting to have the same things that men are having or doing the same things that men are doing. But obviously not everything, right? Say for example, you may make the argument that women are underrepresented as lawmakers, legislators, or corporate board directors, but very few women would have a problem with more men being involved with manual labor that are low paid. Like women would probably not say that, well, why don't you have more women doing this kind of work? So we understand that it is a complex issue, it's not straightforward black and white, good or bad. But the key thing is to understand that one, there's a lot of variation across cultures and social spaces, and these norms also change over time. We all have feminine and masculine sides. In same-sex relationships, there is no fixed rules regarding who should be performing the so-called masculine roles and who should be performing the feminine roles. In my earlier phase of my career researching into human sexuality, I had the privilege of talking to people in same-sex relationships. And it is interesting that in among some of these couples, they actually have pretty well-defined masculine and feminine roles which are largely consistent with the social definition of masculinity and femininity in their culture. But there are also people who are very fluid with these roles. And then they are quite okay with having the space to just perform which aspect of their own personality in an open, spontaneous manner, which I think is a very desirable state to be in. Why isn't it good for any couple, whether same sex or not, to have this possibility to just be yourself and allow whatever aspect of your personality to be realized within an intimate relationship without worrying about whether it is too masculine or too feminine? Say for example, in my relationship, I'm the person who's doing most of the cooking and doing the meals. I enjoy doing it. My partner enjoys it. We are both very happy with that arrangement. So do you define cooking as a masculine or feminine role? Is completely irrelevant in my perspective. But you can also think of other examples, obviously. So I am just arguing that the best relationship that provides you the space for participating partners to be who they really are and giving them the space to realize their potential and to express the different aspects of their personality in a free and open and uninhibited manner. Neo-masculinism is an idea that I came up with in the mid-80s, and I have been trying to tell people that it is probably a better response by men to the influences of feminism. If you search online for the concept masculinism, then you will see that it actually is a kind of reaction against women's rights movement. These people are saying that, well, why are we talking about women's rights all the time? Men have rights as well, and then very often men are treated unfairly. Say, for example, in divorce, custody battles, men usually lose out to women, and custody are usually awarded to women, and the courts are generally more sympathetic with women. And then they can also come up with other examples as well. The reason why I want to pick on this is that the approach is problematic. One of the things that I think would work better, this is my major argument in what I call neo-masculinism, or if you prefer, you can also call it post-masculinism, because the word post suggests that we are being critical of and we want to move beyond conventional, traditional masculinism. The general idea is that we should work together to create arrangements that will be respectful of our respective rights. It is an arrangement that will be more effective in addressing our different needs and our circumstances to the best of our capacity. And it is not going to be categorical and uniform. We should build in principles that will allow people in different kind of relationships negotiate the best deal for themselves. So what are some of the principles? So one is that we do not allow ourselves to be restricted or confined by categorical gender roles, so that we can be talking to each other about a wider range of possible arrangements. So who should be doing the coffee run? Who should be like cooking dinner? So honoring the value or the principle of equity and mutual respect. I think that is the key agenda that I wish to propose with the post-masculinism or the new masculinism perspective. So I have been running men's group, right, to tell people now you're living in a world like with people who are adhering to feminist ideas and principles. How can you, as a man, do your best in this context and negotiate the best possible relationship with your partner while your needs would be met, while you will be given the opportunity to become the best possible person you can be, while you're making the same space and same conditions available for your partner. So that is the way we implement post-masculinist values and principles.